e-gaming bets, online betting for every esports fan. Dota 2 and Hearthstone, CSGO and Overwatch, StarCraft 2, the choice is yours. Express bets for multiple matches or live bets on the game you are watching right now. Know your way around Dota 2? Make a prediction for picks and bans. Playing CSGO? Guess the number of rounds in a certain match. Daily quests for all participants and all the best choice of payment systems. More than 600,000 users have already made their bets on the spectacular matches since 2011. EGB.com. You know for sure who's gonna win.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Starladder iLeague Star Series Season 3. We are here with day whatever it is now. It feels like a blur, but what we do have at least is what I think, if I'm not mistaken, is our group decider. Tengri versus Team123. One of these teams are going through. One of these teams, I suppose, are staying at home rather than going anywhere. But more importantly, joining me today is going to be Just Harry, and he will be helping me lead you through this wonderful game.
Yeah, indeed I will. Thank you for the introduction there, Tom. And yeah, Tengri versus Team123, as you said so correctly, is going to be our first game of today. Our first best of 3. Of course, we've already had the vetoes come on in for that as well. And I mean, it's, you know, maps that you and I aren't strangers to, Tom. Maps that we're fairly used to casting, at least in the Starladder games. A return of the fan favorites that are Train, Overpass, and Cobble. Not in that order, by the way, just to make things even more confusing for everyone. I believe the order is going to be Overpass, Cobble, and then the deciding game is going to take place on Train. I don't know if you've gone ahead and got that screen up already, Tom.
Oh yeah, of course I have. Is my mic bad again? Has it happened again? When my
it's crackling a little bit. It only just started as you started
speaking. When I start the stream, it's always weird. Whenever I switch
just
over,
a big middle finger to Tom.
I can let them
and
watch
the rest
a little
of
bit
Starladder.
of the, if I let them watch the warm up a little bit, and then I will watch. You can have a look at the maps, and I'll just quickly restart everything and just make sure that my mic is not screwed up for the game.
Yeah, no, that's important.
On. Okay, back guys,
Right,
should be sorted now. We're all in the game, of course, just waiting for things to get underway. But yeah, in the meantime, I can actually bring us up the groups as well, which I think is going to be the most interesting thing at the moment. Obviously, if it just loads. Come on, don't let me down, Starlight. There we go. We have already got Big through after 2 wins, 1 loss. I think this has been my favorite group so far, just because there was a point where it was 1 win, 1 loss, 1 win, 1 loss, 1 win, 1 loss, 1 win, 1 loss. And then it just meant that the last 2 games decide everything. So Big, they managed to beat iGame. They're now through. Obviously, it's going to get very confusing with round and map difference, and somebody else is going to have to do that because I'm too lazy, and obviously we got loads of people at Starladder who are geniuses with mathematical skills, whereas I'm an idiot. But whoever wins this, and depending on how many maps it takes them, could then go top of the group, which I think would be quite good. Obviously, that's going to be either Team123 or Tengri. iGame cannot get through unless somehow they manage to both lose, which, not to ruin it for you all, but that's impossible.
Yeah, I mean, iGame haven't really had the best stint in this. And I think that's quite an interesting thing to look at. They played Tengri the other day, you know, for those of you who didn't catch those games. And it was one that going into it, it did seem like Tengri were the underdogs. It seemed like the vetoes definitely favored iGame. And then iGame managed to quite frankly, throw the whole thing in a 2-1 fashion. with Tengri picking it up. And that's kind of how the groups has ended up being the way that they are. And as we come into this, Tengri have had a fairly strong performance on a lot of the maps that are being played today. I mean, they beat iGame on Overpass just the other day. You know, from Tengri, I mean, they've had a fairly decent performance across the board. Team123 as well, no exception to that. They've been doing fairly decently too. I think the way the maps have gone in this one, you know, I would say Tengri maybe a bit more of a disadvantage than Team123. It does seem like they've kind of come off a bit better in the vetoes, but even then, right? Tengri very strong on Overpass. And Cobble, which is our second map, if I'm not mistaken. That's one that Tengri have been fairly strong on as well. So I wouldn't really count them out. And I think just because of how the maps have gone, the whole scheme of things, I feel like maybe it does benefit Team123 more. But they're relying a lot on making it to that third map. And I feel like if they don't, Tengri could kind of take this in a 2-0 fashion. Which, you know, that's just my 2 cents. Tom, I don't know if you agree.
Well, I do agree about Train. We saw them on versus iGame. I think that was the one map that they actually lost when they played, and it wasn't particularly convincing. We also saw Team123, however, they beat Big. That was the one match they actually won, which was quite surprising, because going into this, you look at Big, you think, okay, that's, considering the rest of the teams of this group, they do have the all-star lineup, and it looked, I was saying, okay, that looks pretty good, and then Mertz, I think it was something ridiculous. Everybody else was like maybe +5 or like minus something. He was +30 by the end of that best of 3. Just literally put his team on his back and was like, come on guys, let's go.
I'm a huge fan of Mertz. I don't know if you've ever watched me cast Premier, Tom, or anyone else here for that matter, but Mertz has the nickname 300 Hertz Mertz. Just because of how insane he is. And I always say, you know, he's got that magic monitor. He's got the limited edition. Actually, I don't know what brands I'm allowed to say because it's a Starladder stream. So we're just gonna move on from this and continue now into the knife round. And for those of you who don't know the format, the way this works is that the knife will decide who starts on which team.
No, I think I know what he's using. He's obviously using an Acer Predator laptop. You know.
There we go. That's the one. That's the one, guys. And Team123 just absolutely butchering Tengri in the knife round.
And of course, whenever he's betting, like if he's a betting man, he obviously uses EGB.
EGB
like,
for all your
there are no others available. Just you have to go to EGB. Not sell out at all. Put X-Ray Smart Casters in the chat
right now. And yeah, don't forget to put X-Ray Smart Casters in chat.
Oh god. The
anyway,
funny thing is, I'm not even sure
you...
they sponsor the English stream. I know Acer Predator definitely sponsor the Russian stream.
Tom? For those of you who don't know me and Tom, by the way, whenever we do this, at the beginning, we like to have a little look at chat and just see what's going on. So, quick shout out to the first names I see. Moonman TV, Aiko the Beast 21.
He just called us sellouts.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter. Juantiana. We are not biased casters. We are best casters. Exon Skels.
He just spelled it wrong, you know.
Chemical and Xstick Dumbo and Simon. There's a bit of a stutter built into that username. But there we go, guys. Thank you all for tuning in. And now we're going to be heading into the pistol round anyway. All 5 players for Tengri very early on over towards B. Now, they're a team that do like to take things slowly. This time, it looks like they'll be ditching that approach as they go rushing straight in towards this B site. Smokes and flashes come raining on in. Acorn out, making his way down through connector on that fast rotate. 3 players here already. And they're looking to try and shut this down. Cyclone landing a nice one-tap out onto Sonic to dispatch of him. Bomb is going to go down. Acorn can't quite deny it in time, but look at 300 Hertz. Mertz on the flank, going to get 1. Looking for a second. There he is on 2. And that's going to be Tengri mopped up in a matter of seconds. No one going down for Team123. They do get the bomb down, but ultimately the CT side will be picking up the round.
Yeah, they don't kill anyone. The rush comes in and nobody dies for the CT side. So flawless pistol, flawless victory, and they get to keep everything they have. Nice little bit of extra Kevlar. Some of the players may have actually not even been hit, which will be wonderful for them. But the bomb goes down. That's at least something for Tengri to play with. They get a couple of pistols in this round. In the next, we know they're going to buy up the AKs and have themselves another buy. So it's not too much of a problem. I think, realistically, it's better to get the bomb down than actually to kill 4 people and still lose. So not a problem for them. We are just going to see them feel out the map. Fitch does have himself a Deeg, so maybe a little bit of magic from him. Unfortunately, what this does mean, though, is Ramzik will not have his AWP, and I really enjoyed watching him the other day. Ridiculous amount of wall bangs, headshots with the scout, and, well, not with the scout, but Mertz will start things off. SNK down and out.
Yep. That's 300 hertz Mertz to pick up the first one. Now Pachanga wants to try and get a return frag if he can. And oh, he's going to spot the head of Sandin. And suddenly he doesn't want to be peeking that angle once again. Akor's going to learn his lesson about jumping up as well. And now him and Mertz locking down this A site. I know if I was Tengri, I wouldn't want to find myself on the other end of Mertz's computer. I still don't know who sponsors this, so Pachanga keeps nearly landing these insane shots on the players that are jumping across, and I mean, he's someone who I would say you got to keep an eye on. Obviously, you got Ramzik as well. The two players on the side of Tengri I would definitely watch out for. When you look at Team123, look no further than Mertz to be making these plays. When he attends the funeral of his enemies, he's of course 300 shirts Mertz, and already Fitch with that deagle, putting it to good use. Equalizes things out back into a 4-on-4 now. Mertz, he's made it into the corner here. Fitch going to go out for the wide peak, but he's going to go down. Does now put it with the man advantage back in favor of Team123. Mertz just going ham. He's going to find himself a third, looking for this eco ace if he can, trying to pad these stats. And Ramzik says nope, takes his head clean off. It's going to fall over towards Long. Now it's all on Pachanga. 1v3. He's already done a good bit of damage down towards B. Sandin tagged down to 17 HP, courtesy of Pachanga, but there's Sandin with the revenge. He might have tagged him earlier, but he's going to get the frag regardless. Team123, they pick up that second round. They do manage to save up the two rifles as well that were bought up, as well as the MP7 on Sandin, meaning they have to rebuy across two players. Tengri will have enough money, however, to buy up as a result of getting that bomb plant. So it's just going to be AKs across the board. Good bit of utility for them to play around with as we head into our first rifle round.
MP7 in a buy round. That is a question that I'm not sure I want to find out the answer to. I'm imagining some aggression will come up. You can already see Sandin making his way forward. Been in this scene a while. Mertz, that is ridiculous. Just peeks out, finds two players early on, can fall back. Any doubts that maybe a little bit of a weaker buy will punish them are gone. They now have a two-man advantage, and we're only seconds into the round.
And already Cyclone putting another nail in the coffin here for Tengri. Going to be able to deal with Pachanga, and they've found literally no damage thus far. Tengri just being picked off from afar. They don't even know what's happening. I mean, Mertz only having UMP now. He's going to be playing up close and personal towards Long. He's looking to make some serious money, and that's exactly what he's done already. He's 7-1, and look at this. Little do they know it, but Sonic going in his direction. Akor going to be going for the bait and switch, trying to make Sonic to peek the corner. Doesn't matter anyways. He's going to be able to mop him up. Now it's all on Fitches. He's got the itches on the trigger. Going to peek around the corner. Does deal with Akor. But he's still got to worry about Mertz over towards Long. The rotate coming in from B as well as Bomb was spotted. Fitch does find himself 1v4, but he's going to keep the aggression up. Does spot out Mertz. He's been able to get himself an AK, and that's a huge threat. That's the oh baby, a triple there for Mertz. And that's also the third round now for Team123. They ruin the economy of Tengri, and once again, they're going to have to say hey-oh to them pistols.
I'm just liking the fact that Rezix has literally had nothing to do so far. It is not often that you see someone 0-0-0 going into round number 4, but maybe he'll get a little bit done in this pistol round. Again, it's just going to be a couple of deagles bought up by this T side. Just trying to do a little bit of extra damage, make it so that the CTs at least have to rebuy a couple of guns, because so far they haven't built up a huge amount of money. It is early days as of yet, but even in the round where they pretty much put nothing into the round, they still took 2 players with them, and that's always going to be important. Either way, in this round, they are just waiting, hoping that someone makes a mistake. We've already seen Mertz on his AWP. He's 8-1 without even having it in hand. Has purchased it up for now. But to be honest, this wasn't really a round he needed to do. It could have just got an SMG to try and farm up a bit of extra cash. We see that quite often. I think we saw Kiev doing it just the other day. But, hey-ho, if you're not going to die, I suppose it doesn't really matter how much money you save up. You're still going to have bank.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Mertz is just so incredibly versatile coming into this. He's been someone I've enjoyed watching in every game I've casted. Now, I've been fortunate enough to cast a lot of Mertz, and he's been in my heart the whole time. And I mean, just look at this. There you go. Rezex, Cyclone, and Sand, and they mop up that B play in a matter of seconds. Don't even get a chance to see the bomb site. They don't even know B exists. For all they know, the thing they go to bomb, the sewage. I don't know why they're going there. I don't know what the tacticality of that is for the actual T side in law terms is. But whatever they go to bomb, they don't even know if it's there. They don't even get to see the B site. But now Tengri, they finally buy on down. It's going to be more rifles once again. No AWP to counteract Mertz, who is going to be looking to dominate them with that. Makes his way down in towards Connector and does find a tag on a Sonic who tries to go fast there through the wall. It's going to be a little bit of damage done early on now. Mertz does fall on back. No one's going to be challenging him from connector just yet. That's going to allow him to make his way over towards toilets, and now he can watch the push up through Party and mid. In this position, very, very good just for landing that first shot and then falling on back, taking the early man advantage. But never mind, Fitches. He's going to show the snitches, get stitches over towards mid. It deals with Mertz, who was able to rat out one of their teammates early on, and he's going to be eliminated. That's the AWP down as well for Team123. No one in range ready to go ahead and pick it up. You can see that Akor's trying to edge his way forward to get the trade frag, possibly pick up the AWP as well, but it does look like Tengri will grab that. Akor to get one in trade in answer to that, putting it back into a 4-on-4. They're going to be employing a nice boost over here, and Pachanga just crab walking along. Oh god, what are you doing, buddy? He's able to find one, but then the trade comes through, pitches that towards long. Meanwhile, he's going to go huge himself, picks up 3 quick frags, leaving it all on Sandon for Team123.
He's going to have to go rotating back around. A couple of low players, so there is still potential in this round for him to at least do some damage. Now, in terms of the CT economy, they should be able to buy back up anyway, so I wonder if he will actually challenge, try and make this very costly, at least for the Tengri side. SNK, however, is waiting, looking for this flank, trying to make sure that nobody can come around this back angle, and, well, he may actually sneak past him. He's holding an angle that they're not going to spot each other. He's just going to go walking straight past. Now, it does mean that it's unlikely he'll win the round, but if you look at the remaining 2 players, they're very, very low. That's going to be a free frag. Now, really, this should be the pounce. This should be a very easy kill for SNK, and he will just finish things off without any trouble, but got a little bit scary there. If he just dropped one more player, it was going to be very, very costly, but at least they saved the AWP. I wonder how good the buy is actually going to be for this T side. Everybody looks like they'll at least have an AK in hand, and actually, they've got a decent amount of utility as well. However, either way, whichever way this goes, one of these teams is going to get reset going into the next.
Yeah, that's why this round is so important. These are essentially buy one, get one free rounds. If you think about it, you can go ahead, pick this one up. The next one should come to you relatively easily. Mertz can be back on mid with that AWP. Now, Ramzik, the AWPer for the side of Tengri, is going to be looking over towards Party. He's taking things slowly, and SNK trying to spot out mid. Does spot Mertz, but Mertz faster on the trigger in order to deal with him. Sandon as well, over towards connector. On the other side of that door, little does he know it, there is a blue hedgehog who is ripe for murdering. Pushing out mid, it's going to be Fitches and Ramzik, the AWP and AK combo. Sonic's going to get tagged down low towards connector, but does find that frag on a Sandon at least. The trade not going to be coming through just yet. For the time being, they've been able to do a good job of putting this back into a 3-on-4, but they still haven't dealt with Mertz, who's over towards long, just watching this close angle. Now Fitch going to be his real competition. Tries to go up close and personal with the AK, can't quite connect the shots. Mertz gonna have enough time to fall on back thanks to that smoke, and Akor is here to reinforce on the site. Gonna buy them plenty of time. Now, one thing Tengri are very prone to doing is taking a little too long. Sonic's already rotated on back to grab the bomb. Thank God. He's someone who famously has lost them quite a few rounds because of his lack of awareness when it comes to that bomb.
I'd forgotten about that.
Do you remember that, Tom?
Kind of
the 3 misplants where he didn't get it down because he didn't know where you could plant in this game?
Oh, actually, Ramzik gonna win the duel. That actually opens this round up a little bit more. There's only 30 seconds left on the clock. Nice entry from Fitch. It will be quickly traded out, but actually it was the low player that goes down, and Fitch again, now 7-4, carrying his team through the rounds that they managed to win. Nobody else with anywhere near the amount of kills he has at the moment, but Ramzik will join the scoreboard, gets himself 2, and at least gets them another round on the board. Now, this is where things get interesting for the CT side, because their money is not in a good state.
Yeah, the economy of Team123 going to be heading downhill a little bit now. Now they have to try and do what they can with these pistols. You see Mertz doesn't opt to buy on down. That's to keep money in the bank so they can afford to go for that. Oh, Rezex has more than enough cash though, so I guess alternatively it's because he doesn't want to dip below that 2k margin, as that won't really allow him to have too strong a buy up into the next round. Aggression over towards long though from the side of Team123, and it is going to pay off as Cyclone and Sand, and they find 2 quick frags between them. Cyclone with a very nice Huandig downrange to deal with the AWP, but that's going to be Ramzik going down. They also lose Fitches, and he's been a key entry fragger for the side of Tengri, someone who's been opening up these sites. He goes down over towards long very early on. It's going to be the man advantage seized now for Team123. And look at this, Tengri, they've had to slow things right down once again, going for that slow play, but this time out of necessity, not out of...
Look at this crossfire. I really like this that we've got over towards A. It's just been moved back a little bit, but you got Mertz as a sort of bait.
The 3 players.
Then you got Synchrone holding just a little bit further back in the corner, and then obviously you've got Sandon actually holding an angle to cover him off as well. so that each player has a little crossfire to actually hold this down. I like this. Whether it works or not, that's another thing altogether, especially with the rifles currently on the other side of the board. And really, they should check this. It's whether or not Mertz can actually hold things off. They don't check the angle. That is surprising. Will be able to take him down through the wall, which will give it back to a 3 versus 2. Man advantage still with the CT side, but most of their weaponry now is gone. And that's going to be a nice, easy kill for Pachanga. I'm not really sure why he's sticking with the AWP. He could just pick up an AK and make this a whole lot easier for himself.
Yeah, but how else is he going to get this sick montage clip clutching 1v2 with an AWP over towards long? As SNK, he's already tagged down low, 20 HP. One bullet from either one of these pistols going to send him to the grave. He doesn't care though, peeks out wide, going to find the head of Rezex, and now Pachanga over towards long, looking to try and back his teammate up, does so with due diligence. Deals with A-Core there on the push, and that's going to be Tengri picking up their 3rd round. They look to try and close this gap. Team123, they can finally slow down the onslaught of Tengri. With this buy, they can have enough money securing their bank accounts. Interestingly enough, no AWP, and I believe Rezex had enough to pick one up. I guess Mertz instead opting for the rifle, thinking it is going to be the better way of dealing with Tengri. Curious to see what this strategy is going to involve. 3 players over towards mid. Mertz and Sand are going to be taking connector control, and this is nice. I do like a focus on connector early on from the CT side. It denies very, very fast rotates from Tengri, and that's something they've kind of been capitalizing on in these little in these early rounds.
Nice. Looking down over towards water through the little gap.
Water. They got the smoke there to protect them as well, and they're not going to be standing and putting themselves in any danger whatsoever. Second smoke's going to go down. Pachanga, if he goes for the peak down through water, then he could face a very early death. But meanwhile, the lack of presence over towards A means that it's only A-Core to hold things off, and this is the one kind of drawback of this strategy. Fitch finds that opening frag. That's going to be the A site completely empty. They have to rotate a player off of B as a result. They do luckily enough have Sandin to make his way on through to reinforce, but there's still only one guy over towards A. Now Sandin and Rezex both going for a bit of a gamble. Going to rotate up to A. Mertz clears out connector. He's going to be the anchor for B, but he's not even on the site, and well, it does kind of leave him in a very difficult position to try and defend. Mertz falls at the hand of Fitch, who currently has been out fragging him in almost every single way. Going to put it back into a 3-on-3. But at Tengri, they're going to head in towards the wrong site as they head in over towards this A site. Sand having to find one, and Ramzik, they keep the aggression going. Smoke's going to force them back for the time being, and bomb should be going down any second.
Fitch, that's a spray and a half. That is a spray and a half. He actually aces the round. That is ridiculous. Bomb goes down. They get baited in. I thought I was almost certain there that the bomb was going to die. That plant position is so risky if players come from stairs. They knew that there were players there, but that is ridiculous. Just controls around, gets all 3 players aces, and is now 12-5, just pushing his team forward. Only player even near him is Mertz, who's on the same scoreline at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about this matchup. It's essentially Clash of the Titans. It's Mertz versus Fitch. And it's who's been hitting the gym the hardest, who can carry their team to victory. And, I mean, let's find out. 4 players down towards B very early on. Just going to be trying to employ a bit of a stack. Now, Tengri haven't really hit that B site. They just kind of leave Pachanga to watch the rotate. And that's exactly what he's doing this time around. You can see they're going to have Sonic and Connector as well, so they can quickly rotate between A or B. But having that Connector control should leave them fairly invulnerable to this sort of stack. They should be able to rotate up from B the second they figure out that, oh my god, it's full of Danes. So now a quarter towards long. Oh, Fitch, you're gonna be looking the wrong way, buddy. Might want to watch out for that next time as the lone Deagle player towards A long does pick up that one frag. Interesting enough, SNK doesn't go for the refrag just yet. And him picking up that one has kind of forced Tengri's hand over towards B. They think the A site is going to be the one that's stacked, so they go fairly heavily in towards B, and already they're going to be paying the price for it. Sand does deal with Pachanga. A-Core still holding down the A site solo and doing a fantastic job of just that. Looking out towards long, SNK going to be trying to peek him as he makes his way downtown. They've already rotated up Cyclone as well, the Deagle duo. Up towards the A site. And, oh, A-Core's going insane with this Deagle. It's all going to be on Ramzik 1v5.
This is...
And let's see if he can try and make this work.
This is dreadful. They've just been picked apart one by one. Aggression catching them out. Oh, that's... I like the spot. You just didn't have the timing to actually get up there. It's a little bit of a hidden spot that you could hold on the site, where unless you look directly at them, you can't see. Unfortunately, if you're moving, it's quite obvious, and I don't know if he knows someone's that close. Sandin with the AK, gonna go for the peak. Nice shot from Ramzik, down to just 21 HP, however, and with a Mac 10 currently on Cyclone, this is not looking good. That weapon is going to shred him in a matter of seconds, but he will be able to get one more. Looking for another. Would have had to hit a ridiculous no-scope, but at least it's not going to be all 5 weapons saved. He did manage to make it a little bit costly, but that's still a dreadful round coming in for the Tengri side. Picked apart by Deagles. Individual pushes. Absolutely no trades whatsoever. And they're actually going to give a 5th over to the Danes, and a huge monetary boost.
I mean, I think the play that lost that was they lose Fitch over at long. Now, SNK is close enough to go for the trade. And instead of going for it, he just kind of goes, no, you know what? You know, I'm gonna opt to play it safe. And ultimately, you know, Acor was there alone. He was falling back on long. That's a horrid angle to fall back on. It leaves you so incredibly open. And ultimately, it's kind of something that almost made them lose that round. This time, we can see Tengri, they put all their eggs in one basket. They send almost everyone over towards B, with the exception of Fitch. They have him on the lurk. While that's an interesting decision, not sure if it's one I can get behind. As he's been such a key player to getting these entries, it does kind of leave this B site dependent to the rest of the team now. And, well, Pachang is able to get one in return. Rezex does fall. There's still 3 players trying to force the issue out on the site. Fitch now rotating down connector. Ultimately, this position should never frag onto Acor, and it does so. So it does pay off right now, this having him on the lurk. They've already rotated players down towards B. The issue is right now, no one else is on the site. Pachanga finds himself locked in a corner all on his lonesome, and he's going to fall. No one there to trade. And there was just no crossfire set up. Over towards long, Sandon. Over towards short, sorry, Sandon's having to fall on back. Just makes it through the Molotov there. And that means that Fitch can't quite get the trade. They're going to go back in towards B. They rear their heads once again, screaming surprise as they do so. It's a 2-on-3 now. And, well, Ramzik and Fitch, 2 key players for the side of Tengri, having to try and make their way towards B. Ramzik going to fall to Mertz, leaving it all on Fitch. 1v3. We've seen him ace. We've seen him have 4Ks. But this time he gets tagged down by Sandon so incredibly low. It's not looking good. He's going to find himself 1v3. 5 HP and a bucket full of dreams.
This has been a really, really weird round. It's not often you see a team have to take a site twice. And, well, the second time they have failed. Fitch going to be left alone, trying to sneak through, but Mertz well positioned to finish him off. And I am a little bit confused as to what happened there, especially when the flank from Fitch came in. He had the CTs cornered. Like, he could have pushed in. He'd already retaken an angle that they knew they couldn't get towards. They just got stuck. And basically what happened was there, they got stuck, and they just abandoned Pachanga, and the site just went, okay, well, we can't really help you, so if you just sit there, and we'll just give up our man advantage and not look for trading, which is exactly what you should do when you have that advantage. So, very, very weird scenario. Odd way to try and take that site, and they've just lost a load of money now, because they're going to have to save.
You know, the Kazakhstan side of the CS world just feels so incredibly brutal. It's like, if you get out onto the site and you're on your own, that's it. You know, you did this to yourself. We're not helping you. And that's the kind of the second time now they haven't bothered trading. So, oh, Rezex, you dirty individual. He's going to find a nice one-tap on a Pachanga, leaving it out at 3-on-4. Does maintain that man advantage. Ramzik, he's just got his eyes on the stairs, waiting. Cyclone doesn't peek up. That's going to allow him to live another day. Getting a bit of a haircut there with how close that bullet was. And a nice boost coming out. Look at this boost. Sonic boosting up Ramzik onto his shoulders. And it's actually going to Fitch to get the entry. It doesn't matter. I know. How can you stop this man? You can give him any gun in the world. He's going to get the entry with it. 3-on-3 now. They're pushing it towards the site. Sanders to try and trade things out, but that's a bit of a tall order. Over towards Bank as he gets tagged down low. Does deal with the first. Sonic's close on the site. He should know that. Goes for the spray. Going to find him as well. He's looking for the old baby a triple as Ramzik has retreated to the safety of toilets. Smoke's going to go down. This should allow him to get the defuse, but still, he's just going to watch the one spot. Don't sit right on top of it, or else Ramzik should be able to finish you, but never mind. Sandon gets the third, and that's going to be Team123 picking up their 7th. 7-4 now. Tengri with enough money to buy up still in the next round.
Yeah, no, that bomb plant was very nice to actually get down. It will allow them to buy back up an AWP. That's the main reason we did see a peek, although Fitch not going to have any head armor, which out of all the players in the server, I want him to have everything possible because this man is just ridiculous at the moment. However, Sandon stepping up has meant that rather than a 1v1, it's turned into a 2v1, which makes it a little bit more difficult, and Sonic at the bottom is having an absolute nightmare. A little bit of damage done early on through that spray. We did actually see a kill the other day just straight through that pre-fire spot, which won't happen this time. 1 minute 50 or 1 minute 30 still left on the clock. Not really be able to do too much for now. Mertz, nice opening kill as well. They'll just be falling back. But it does look like they want to hit this B side. There's 3 players currently aggressive towards A, so this could be the perfect play to make.
Yeah, Rezex and Sandon find themselves alone over towards B, in danger of being fed to the wolves here. No one near enough to kind of rotate down. Acor has made his way in towards heaven, and oh, it's going to pay off. Fitch falls. It's going to be Fitches getting stitches this time around. You can see Ramsey trying to equalize things back out. It's able to find one. There's two players here, and the York's going to be able to just dominate them at longer ranges. Rezex, luckily enough, is there to trade. He doesn't expect two players to be able towards long. Of course, why would you? 2 on 3 now. Bomb still over towards B. Pachanga's cleared out connector for the time being. Would be nice to see them maybe pull a bit of a rotate. They've still got 35 seconds left to play around with them. Instead, it's going to be B. The only issue is you've got this flanking player coming around in the form of Rezex, but he is entirely bypassed Tengri. He hasn't bothered checking short, and this could be very bad. Rezex has probably called that B's looking fairly clear. This does leave Mertz to hold things down, but if anyone could do it, it is going to be Mertz. He finds the first on Pachanga. Sonic gets the bomb down at least as the silver lining. The diamond amongst the turds, and now Sonic, he's able to find himself one, trying to hold down this plant. That's going to be Mertz falling, Cyclone and Rezex. 2 bottom fraggers right now for Team123, but they should be able to do this, just trade things out. I mean, Sonic's only on 2 frags himself, so he isn't looking too hot. He has been able to make his way down. Water Cyclone goes to check it, and there we go. Finds that frag, no worries. 8-4 secured, a nice attempt from Sonic, but ultimately couldn't hold off in the 1v2.
Yep, gonna retrieve the AWP. T-side will at least get a bomb plant, and with the loss bonus, that will allow them to either just fall by into this with AKs or wait for an AWP. I don't think they're gonna do that. They haven't been too reliant on it so far. Ramzik, I feel a little bit sorry for him in that position because having 2 players on Monster on the CT side is very, very rare. It was quite a surprising strategy. The reason being was because of the aggressive pushes that we saw over on the A site. So they went, okay, let's play deep into the B site. We could just play the trade game. If anybody pushes short, we'll just hold it from here and then the rotation could come in. So I like the setup coming out from Tengri, or from Team123. A little bit surprising, and because of that, they win the round. But this time, it's going to be a long push. We've got Acor up close. The support from Mertz, but it doesn't last very long. We'll actually get the second refrag anyway and keep their man advantage alive.
Yeah, Tengri, once again, they seem pretty dedicated on towards A, and this is one thing I'm never really sure if I like about Tengri. Sometimes it does work for them, sometimes it doesn't. They kind of pick a site and then are very reluctant to rotate off from it. They never really know, and this is what separates a lot of these kind of, you know, tier 2 teams from really the tier 1 sort of competition, is knowing when something's too far gone, or just knowing when to rotate on the T side. And I feel like that's something Tengri do really struggle with. It is going to pay off this time, though, as they find Mertz over towards long. So scratch what I was saying, as this is going to open up the A site fairly considerably. Only Cyclone in a position to try and deal with it, and even then he can really only face off against Sonic. I believe Sonic has a bit of an inkling that he's there. Bomb hasn't gone down just yet. Sannon's already rotated up through. Bank finds that first in the Western Cape. Bomb's going to be going down, but he looks to take the angle aggressively. Sonic has to try and help his teammates out here. He's able to get one once again. Oh, he's going to get himself a second. Got to look for that third. He's only 5 HP, and Rezex around the corner, able to finish him off. A 9-4 scoreline secured now as Team123 1 round away from taking this to double digits. Tengri's economy going to be bottoming out. Only 3 players that can afford to buy. Going to be wouldn't surprise me if we see them go for, you know, a buy down to say $2,000, buy pistols and armor, and that is exactly what they're going to do. 1 round away from the last of the half. They will have enough to buy next round regardless. They have to try and secure a couple more rounds. An 11-4 scoreline against Team123. When you consider how strong Mertz is fragging along with the likes of Sandon, it isn't one you want to be going into the T side with, you know, that few rounds and already out mid. Look at Mertz go.
Yeah, he's been very, very consistent with this AWP, finding picks for his team. 20 and 9. A 20 frag half is pretty ridiculous in the grand scale of things. I'm going to hear a lot of footsteps, so Pachanga does know there's somebody trying to spot. He go for the pre-fire. Actually got a double orb. Oh no, it's just a single orb. They've done it! The prophecy's been fulfilled. Bogdan's law. Give the orb to the low HP player. They've done it. Team123. They know the power of Bogdan.
They've been training with the Bogdan. And well, let's see if it pays off. Acor going to be on the orb. Only 30 HP to his name. And well, bombs dropped over towards toilets for the time being. Spots that out. No, it doesn't work. There we go. Congratulations. Still has done it. We proved it wrong here on stream live. Bogdan's law is a load.
Well, Acor's not simple, so you know.
Can you insert like a bleep? Is just swearing completely off the cards. Yeah, 2-1-3. Bomb should be going down there. Ramsey's able to get himself an AWP as well. Fitch goes for the plant. It's going to be a safe one over towards Optimus. Psychro spots out Fitch, leaving it all on Ramzik, and well, he can't do much. Mert's going to be on the flank. Wouldn't expect him to be pushed up that aggressively towards long anyway. Defuse does come in, but that bomb plant will yield them a lot of money to buy up now into the last round of the half. A potential 11-4 for Team123. Tengri, they have to try and get themselves their 5th, and this is the ideal scenario to do it. They've got enough to go for the AWP on Ramzik. The other day we saw Pachanga kind of dabbling in the AWP a little bit. Now that would be interesting to see once again. He was doing extremely well, but, you know, he's also been doing incredible on these rifles. A lot quieter than he was the other day, though. That's something we have to bear in mind. We were looking at him the other day. I originally said, you know, keep your eye on Ramzik, but it was actually Pachanga who was doing incredibly well. This time it's Fitch. So we're kind of juggling around the roles a little bit. Mertz, though, there's just no stopping this aggression.
That would get me so tilted. No matter where you go on the map, this guy is there, ready to take the pick. Gets his 2nd of the round. Kill number 23. Oh, Pachanga. There we go. Shroud can do it, so can he. Hit that one tap over the jump. That will give them a man back, but it's still a disadvantage after the heroics of Mertz at the beginning of the round. And that is just the perfect example of a rotational AWPer. You take a pick, you move somewhere else, you reposition, and you add back in that element of surprise that makes the AWP so deadly. Speaking of element of surprise, Fitch has managed to get behind Mertz. No support, seemingly from short, and this is actually going to hand them the A site. Rotation will be coming in, and they still have long control. That's the one thing they do have. If Acor could just stay alive here, he could be so much more valuable in a retake scenario.
No, but look at Viggy's position over towards Bank. He's going to dispatch of Cyclone on the rotate. Bombs down on Optimus once again. Not going to be employing that toilet plant, and that's because they had the player over a long that they couldn't deal with. Acor's able to get one on the retake. Pachanga looking to try to refrag, does deal with him. Now it's all on Rezex, and while Pachanga lines them up, knocks them down. That's going to be 3 for him in that round, and that's going to be Tengri picking up their 5th. All in all, a half that I would say definitely leans the way of Team123, but a nice little addition towards Tengri's scoreline at the end there. A much needed one as well. 11-4 simply would not have been enough. But yeah, I mean, one thing I have noticed is that Mertz and Fitch, they both have that Z at the end, and I feel like that's kind of upping their skill level, similar to how, you know, when you used to put like the X's in your name on your Xbox Live gamer tag. Did you ever do that, Tom? No?
No.
You so blatantly did, but regardless. For those of you who don't know me and Tom, by the way, we like to interact with the chat every now and again, especially kind of during these little dips in the action.
Wait, is that true? Fetish has stolen your phrase.
What?
He's just used the phrase 300 Hertz Mertz.
Oh my god, it's it. That's it. I'm famous. Fetish knows me. And I know Fetish.
That's great. That's actually great. Yeah, no, he has. He's just tweeted it.
He didn't even credit me. He probably heard that somewhere. He was like, man, that's creative. Well, you know what? That's all I am, Fetish. All I am is creative. That's and you've taken that from me. But there we go. That's phenomenal.
It's catching.
It is catching. That's going to be it now in the future. You know, you've got Kyo is the problem. 300 Hertz Mertz. There's a lot of names. But yeah, anyway, quickly, a little bit of chat interaction. Shout out to Dark Roy, Flap312, Dominic6466, Naruto Shi 88, and Mega Man TV is best Kappa.
Wow.
That's BM.
That's a name as well. Someone actually bothered to make that account. Oh god, I love Mega Man, so it's fine. Either way, we are into this pistol, and already Sandon has started things off. Taking down Ramzik, not the way that this pistol needs to go if Tengri are going to get themselves back into this game. Changa in a decent position, does actually hit a couple of shots. Got to fall back, he's got stuck in the door! Oh, he's just about going to get away, but challenges versus 5, a little bit risky. And, well, in fact, loses his life because of it. Now we're going to see this push barreling on towards the B site. It's only SNK here, but he's still managing to take 2, make that 3. Not quite going to manage the 4th, but he's made this possible for his team with a standout performance. Mertz, however, going aggressive is going to finish off Sonic. And now it's all on the man himself, Fitch, to clutch.
Yeah, 1v2 has to try and get this defuse to spot out the first on the Cyclone. He's been able to isolate these players into a series of one-on-ones, though, and that's going to be very bad for Team123. Cyclone 1v1 against the Fitch. And, well, clearly he's not one for titles, as he very, very easily deals with him there in that engagement. It's going to be 11-5 as they pick up the pistol now. Team123 in very good standing to pick up a 13-5 scoreline, providing they don't lose out on these anti-egos. Tengri will be force buying on that, as you would expect. Let's see if these pistols and armor are going to be enough to hold back the tide of Danes.
It's going to be a relatively safe buy as well. A couple of AKs. No head armor on Sandon, which I find quite intriguing when you know you're going up against pistols. I know, obviously, close range headshots, it's going to be a kill anyway, but at range, he is in a very risky scenario, and he's holding the most ranged weapon that they have on their side. So, not sure I'm really in agreement with that. I would have rather he just kept the head armor or didn't buy an AK and someone else purchased it. But we'll see if that actually comes into effect at all. Either way, on the other side of things, full investment, so not likely that we'll see an AWP coming out anytime soon for Ramzik, unless, of course, they're able to pull this round off. And Pachanga, he's going to start this. There's a UMP on the floor ready and waiting. Obviously, every kill with that weapon gets him $600. And also, it's pretty good, Harry. Do you agree?
You know, I would have to agree. It's one of the only weapons I've ever seen, at least, that got its own damn HLTV article written about it.
I wonder if the R8 did. I don't remember, but I feel like it
I showed him the R8, justifiably so, because when that thing came out, it was unstoppable, and now it is. Yeah, you've seen those guns that like people shoot and like the word "bang" just comes out on like a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it feels like now. But anyway, they do find their equalizing frag onto Fitch. They're going towards the A site as well. Ramsey going to fall and doesn't do anything over towards A. They lose both of these players now. SNK going to be the first man on the scene, backed up by Sonic, the dynamic duo of Tengri. They make their way on out. SNK just hiding in the smoke for the time being. Acor's watching the flank, but it's not going to find anyone. Pachanga's rotating up through long. Now he should be able to hear this. He's called it already. A Cyclone watches the angle. And UMP King finds that frag. Now it's all on SNK 1v3. And he just grabs himself an AK. Now he's going to look to try and save this. Might want to do some damage potentially as he does look up towards stairs. He's actually going to try and go for it. And that was a mistake. Sandon able to remedy that very, very easily. 12-5, and the pause going to be called in from Team123, so I imagine it's going to be a technical.
Well, either that or they're just rubbing it in at this stage, because
yeah.
I don't think there's any real reason for them to pause other than some
maybe
sort of problem.
Maybe in, you know, Mertz's monitor, the defaulted Mertz's monitor made by, you know, someone has defaulted back to 60 hertz. And 60 hertz Mertz is not the Mertz you want on your team, Tom.
I don't even know what you're saying anymore. This is getting out of hand. This is a bad joke. It's gone too far.
Yeah, it's a bad joke, but it works, and it's a nickname that sticks. Anyway, you know, for those of you who don't know me and Tom, like I always say, we like to have a little bit of chat interaction during pauses, during half times, and at the end and the beginning, just to hear your guys' opinions. So don't forget to keep the chat topped up with your predictions, some insightful information, jokes, whatever you want. Toss them our way. And we also
PG jokes, because they cannot be read out if they are not PG. I may laugh.
Yesterday we had a man in the stream whose name I cannot say, but whenever he said anything, I just simply couldn't read it because his name was revolting. But yeah, quick shout out to High Res Pixel, Knightes, Modic89, Mega Man TV says, I like you guys more than Mega Man already. Well then make a damn account with my name in it. Mega Man TV is best kappa.
A little bit of love for Ramzik already tagged down by his teammate's knife, but, well, it's almost like they're just rotating into each other's homes at the moment. The spawns may switch as the push is already coming onto the B site. Mac 10 for Rezix as he tries to make himself that extra little bit of money. And, well, so far he hasn't actually seen anyone. They're all going to come rotating him from behind. This should just be an easy cleanup. Acor with 3 kills already, making himself some cash. And that will be a flawless round. Not a single point of damage taken for Team 123.
Mert's nearly dropping the 30 bomb. He's 28-12 right now. And he isn't really fragged too insanely in these first 3 rounds. You know, really, we kind of been looking towards the likes of kind of Acor, Sandon, the players looking to pad them stats a little bit more, catch up with Mertz.
What was that nade?
That's just a friendly pat on the back for doing so damn good. But yeah, already, you know, you can see that Team 123, they're playing very confidently. They're having a good time, and that is kind of when a team is most deadly. Tom, don't question. Don't question it. Danish CS, one hell of a drug. And it's 2016 to 2017. Already though, Team 123, they have been able to grab long control for free as Tengri. They don't opt to put anyone here. They don't have an AWP to watch these angles. Now, Team 123 don't have an AWP either. They've gone for a relatively low investment round, despite the fact that Cyclone's sitting on nearly $7,000. They just want to try and make these rifles work, and it's going to give them a lot of momentum, a lot of mobility as well. And they're going to be utilizing that to make their way up long. No one's peaked the angle yet for Tengri. If they do, they're going to get some news coming their way very, very soon that it is going to be the A site. Ramsey gets fully flashed. Mertz is able to find that one frag. Now they continue the aggression in towards the site. Sonic goes with a nice high of a flash, and that might allow Fitch over towards Toilets to pick up 1 or 2 frags when the push comes their way. But Sanding going to get one. Now SNK and Fitch with the crossfire. SNK rushing through the Molotov's going to get 2. He's got a huge. Fitch able to get 1 as well. In the blink of an eye, it's all on Rezex. 1v3. And he's all the way over towards mid. Got to try and make his way back in towards the site now. Fitch might be 1 HP. But there's still 2 other players who are looking very, very healthy on the side of Tengri to hold this down. Rezex does have a little bit of utility to play around with, but Bomb's going to be down in a position that Tengri can hold on to this very, very easily. The 3 players setting up the crossfire on the site, just watching out towards mid. That Molotov going to give away Rezex's position. Now they go out for the peek a little bit. And Rezex, only 10 seconds left. He's got to go huge. Gets that first frag. Pachanga, don't peek. Only 5 seconds now, and it does look like Rezex should really think about saving, but he wants to go for it anyway. Fitch, along with Pachanga, have the crossfire, and they're able to get that frag. No worries. I think he was just looking to maximize the damage there. Not really going for the round win. Just wanted to try and find some frags. Because when you look at the economy of Tengri, it's still kind of worse than that of Team123. The buy for Team123 is going to be very strong into this round regardless.
I think also he may have been a little bit worried about dying after time, so just made sure that he would get whatever money was given to him. Of course, only $1,400, but the way he was running at the end just seemed like he never intended on saving for a second. Either way, we are still going to have a buy up for the T side, but if they lose this round, there is still the potential that Tengri can start to bring this one back. Now, you have to remember, this is actually their map pick, if I'm not mistaken, so overpass not going so well for Tengri. They will move on to cobblestone, and well, you never know if you still have the man himself, Fitch, just hitting headshots on the entry frags. That can work wonderfully on a map like Cobble if you're on that T side, so I wouldn't count them out of this as of yet. Either way, not a whole lot of utility at the moment for either side. 2 players with next to nothing on Team123. The rest still have their Molotovs, but with only 1 smoke left, they are looking like they may be making their move. And I'm more interested in the position of Fitch at the moment. Almost back-to-back with his opponent as they just stand, not knowing that there's someone right next to them until the smoke fades. Now, of course, going to start his push. But, of course, the man to win the duel is going to be Fitch. Has to fade away, and his teammate's been lost in the meantime.
Yeah, Fitch going to get tagged extremely low and then finally mopped up there by Cycro. Now SNK's rotated on over towards Optimus, backed up as well. By Pachanga, the 2 players here locking down the site, able to turn things back into a 3-on-3. And Team123, unlike Tengri, very quick to rotate away, decide that enough is enough, and instead they're going to switch things up, head over towards B. Pachanga preemptively rotating down over towards Heaven. This is a very good read. 3 players making their way up short. Don't get caught with their nades down. They make their way on in. Pachanga's hopped down in towards Pit. They're going to find the first fight in the second as well. It's all on Cyclone, and oh, there they are. Sonic and Pachanga close down that B site. And that's going to be Tengri picking up their 7th.
That was a really nice read. Just the second they saw them fade away, they went, okay, we're going. We're just going to rotate another player back. They used the pop flash to blind all 3 players, and that was a round done and dusted. Great work from Tengri to stop any chance of them getting a bomb down. And, well, now we have to see pistols come in once again for Team123. So something I suppose they haven't had to deal with too often in this game. They have won a couple of rounds just off Deagles alone, so I wouldn't be overly surprised if they manage to do it again. But as long as there's no mistakes, he says as Ramsick dies, it shouldn't be too difficult for the CT side.
Yeah, that should be them very easily arriving at an 8th round, but you never know when you're up against Team123. Acor's now been able to get himself onto that M4. Cyclone tries to face off with the Deagle, going to get tagged down extremely low, but look at this. Mert's able to get out onto the site, and not Mert, sorry, Rezex. Mert is already dead. Long gone. Changa there able to deal with him. Does deny any presence from Team123 over towards that B site, and in the meantime, they're trying to make something happen over towards A. They've rotated most everyone up. Cyclone going for the long rotate. Acor as well. Sandon does take the bomb over towards lower connector. Interesting having him here. Have everyone.
Just noticed he made a new account.
No, he did not. Tom and Harry, best cars. Oh my god, there he is. That's my man. That's dedication right there.
Look at the chat for a split second, just like, oh no. At least it's a clean-up round, so it's not too much of a problem. Sandon, he's got an M4. He's got no armor, so obviously aim punch is going to be a real issue for him. Hitch May not see him sneak it past, but they're in a crossfire. Sonic just going to start spraying the wall. And, well, that will be another round on the board for Tengri. Now, the difference is only 5. This is more commonly a CT-sided map, although I do have to admit, when you get lower down tiers of CS, sometimes that can change rapidly when teams don't really have the rotations on point or they're not quite practiced enough. However, I reckon with both of these teams, I think it's always going to be a case. Momentum is going to be key. So if Tengri could just start rolling, Ramsik could start hitting his shots with the AWP. SNK, someone who's very good at the games we saw the other day, starting to wake up a little bit. I don't think this game is quite as clear-cut as it may seem at the moment, just due to the scoreline.
Yeah, no, definitely. But, oh, Redzex! Things got a little bit hot and toasty for him as he,
I like the idea.
To burn to death. But yeah, no, he goes aggressive. He does find that frag, and, you know, usually you see that kind of work out a lot better. He kind of took a little bit too long to land that spray, stood in the fire and flames for a little bit longer than I think he'd expected to. Ramsik going to deal with Sandon, and like you say, if he starts hitting his shots, he's going to be a beast that they have to try and deal with. Tengri looking poised to pick up their 9th round here, potentially. Now, Mertz over towards long. Psycho making his way up mid. Mertz has been able to self-boost himself up on top of the flower bed. Now we can see the pause being called in. Unsure if this is technical or tactical. And oh my god, Mertz, how didn't Ramsik see you? This is a nice bit of movement from Mertz to dodge the scope downrange from Ramsik. He's trying to push up. And yeah, it looks like it's a bit of a ping issue for Tengri. Well, Mert's going to go down. It's all on Cyclone 1v4. Trying to clear out this A site. Got to try and find some fast, fancy frags. And when Ramsey goes to the peak, going to get tagged down left. Both players here fairly low on HP, but SNK rotates on through and shows these guys how to mop up that frag. 13-9 now. As, you know, what was looking like it could have been Team123's game very, very easily, suddenly becoming a lot more equal, and Tengri looking poised to have a bit of a comeback here. One thing I would like to note, Tom, is this is Tengri's map pick, so we do kind of expect them to pick this up, or, you know, fare fairly well on it at least. If Team123 get it, moving on to the next map, which is going to be Cobble, that's kind of one that they've picked. Now, historically, not one that Team123 are too crazy on, but at the same time, it's not one that they're bad on, right? It's kind of like a consistently, you know, better map for them. It's hard to explain what I'm trying to say is, right? But you get what I mean? It's not one they're weak on, but it's not one they excel on either. It's just one that they're kind of good on.
But the problem...
What a very long-winded way of saying that.
The problem with Tengri at the moment is that the maps, like, they don't have a deep map pool. That's the big problem. They've got a lot of good players, they've got a lot of good individuals, but their map pool isn't great. And the 2 maps that they ban are the 2 most recent added into the map pool. Now, most teams will either be practicing to get better at Inferno or Nuke. They don't ban both, because that just means that if there's a map that you're not particularly good on, you then are screwed when it comes to picking maps. And that's what they do. Both bans were Nuke and then Inferno. And then it just comes down to, okay, do Team123 really want to play this, or do they not quite want to play that? If you're just going to ban out those, when will people learn? So many people die from that exact same jump. There are other ways to look over that. You can boost. Oh! Okay. Okay, the strat book has gone out the window. They're going for the rush B through smoke Russian strat, and it is not working out. But he managed to get one, but now he is the only one left. We'll take Sonic down before anything else can happen. Do you know what's great? Sandon actually killed his teammate, headshot in the back there.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's good. It does disallow the possibility of an ace. I mean, ignoring the fact that Sonic has also now been buried 6 feet under by Mertz with that deagle. The ace, you know, very much off the cards. He's trying to make his way out towards long, though. Fitch and Pachanga both just zeroed in on this one position. There we go, Mertz crab walking to his doom. As Tengri, they reach double digits, 13-10 now. Buying on down for the side of Team123. Now, Mertz finally has that AWP to play around with. Going to be curious to see if having that's going to change things up at all for Team123, perhaps they put things back into their favor. Who knows? I mean, Ramsik, he's kind of woken up. Fitch, once again as well, he was coming into this on something like 16, 18 frags. Now he's up on 24 since heading into these rifle rounds, having a fairly decent impact. Mertz has slowed down a good bit, only picking up 3 frags in the whole second half thus far.
About 4 now.
So, yeah, now it's 4. Rezex as well going to deal with SNK, who goes aggressive, and suddenly a bit of a change of pace from Tengri might come back to haunt them here as they lose 2 players early on as a result of fairly aggressive peaks. There's still 2 players over towards B. But look at this, more aggression coming out. Pachanga's going to get punished for it. What are they doing? They're throwing this away. Sonic over to one short, going to get tagged down low. Falls on back and through the fire and flame. Standing in a full fitch as well. Does deal with Mertz on the flank, putting it back into a 2-on-2. Suddenly, things aren't looking too bad here for the side of Tengri. Somehow they've recovered from a terrible scenario. Fitch being the only player on full HP. He falls. It's 1 HP Sonic. A man in a dream. And Acor shuts that dreams down. The destroyer of dreams. Nothing gets him going like a man whose heart and mind has been crushed by the unrelenting oppression that is our existence. 14-10 now for Team 123 as they find themselves 1 round away from match point and also 1 round away from ruining the economy of Tengri.
That was just some ridiculous attempts at aggression. Like, it literally, the second they lost that first player, the rest of the round was spent trying to rectify the fact that they lost their first player. And it just did not work. The fact that they managed to get it back to a 2v2 is absolutely ridiculous. But they've switched to double AWP. That's going to be a double with the double AWP. Pushing down this monster tunnel yet again. And Pachanga has denied them.
Pachanga's on 3, but he's hungry for more. Whereas X has managed to get across to pick up the AK. Bomb's still very much in a fairly horrific place. And getting a little bit... some flashbacks to what just happened as he went out there to go get the bomb. He is going to survive with it for the time being. Still, it's a 2-on-5, and at this point, wouldn't even surprise me if Team 123 are considering going for a save. They have to try and find some sort of leeway, some sort of entry towards one of these sites. 3 players down on B. I just think they need to stay away from B. Worked out for them nicely in that previous round, but that was more because of bad plays on Tengri's part as opposed to anything spectacular from Team 123. Saying that Mertz, he's worth 3 men. And as he goes down, suddenly... it's all going to be on Rezex, yeah. And there's Sonic going to pick up his 2nd and secure that 11th round for Tengri. The economy of Team 123 going to be back in the dumps. Actually, it wouldn't surprise me if perhaps they allude to some sort of force buy here. That's exactly what they're going to do. You had a player who would have been on a double eco anyway. Everyone else would have had a very weak buy regardless. So probably looking at another rush. I just think they need to stay away from B. Tengri consistently playing 3 guys down towards that B site. And, you know, normally that's not something we see. Maybe you have a fast rotate player up towards Heaven if they've been hitting B a lot. But instead, they just go 3 players dedicated onto the site. This time, Pachanga does hold more passively over towards Heaven. A nice read on his part. Team 123, they do switch things up. They make their way out mid. It's going to pay off for them as Mertz deals with Fitch. Now they rotate up Pachanga from Heaven. That's the benefit of having a player in this position. It's such a fast rotate. The double AWPs having to lock down this A site are going to fall prey to these pistols up close and personal, but Ramzik says no. Deals with the first. Still got more left to find. Going to find himself a 2nd and a 3rd. Looking for a 4th. And oh my god, Ramzik, you're insane.
Lovely cleanup from Ramzik. We'll be able to do it with the pistols. The force buy not paying off, which means we're likely to see an eco, and we're getting pretty close to the comeback for Tengri. A mistake is all that's really been made in 1 round just moments ago, round number 24, where they throw away a round. Other than that, their CT side has started to wake up a little bit. They haven't lost any other rounds other than the pistol and follow-up, so all in all, looking pretty good for them now. 7 rounds won on their CT side. They need to get that up a little bit more if they're going to be able to at least stay in this one. They are against Glocks. 1 flashbang and a decoy is all that's been brought up. Well, actually, and a P250, but not really expecting too much from that. And interestingly, they are heading towards long. I reckon they'll duck back into toilets because I think going long when you only have pistols, you might as well just ask to be shot.
Yeah, I mean, well, actually making your way up long and then ducking in through toilets is one that we see kind of these NA teams do quite a lot. And it normally fares quite well for them. Normally something that we see EU teams head for too often, and perhaps this is why, as SNK just goes down 3 with the UMP, makes some fat stacks, and now it's all on Ramzik once again to hold down this site on his own. You can see his duo buddy with the AWP does rotate on up in the form of Ramzik as well. Pachanga, sorry. And that's going to be another round for Tengri. They're 1 round away from equalizing this out. Team 123 will be able to buy on down, but once again, their economy is going to be in the dumps if they lose this, and that could open their doors for Tengri to arrive at match point. They really need to call this pause in as well, sooner rather than later. They're leaving it very late on the side of Team 123. I feel like this has been a fairly colossal comeback.
Well, I'm just looking at the fact that Mertz is still continuing. He's now on 34 kills. It's just that there's not really anybody close to him, and we've seen Pachanga wake up, and here he is again. turns around, hits the no-scope, looking for a third kill. This Rush B has just turned into decimation for this T side. Nothing that can be done. One-man army of Pachanga. He now brings himself up to only 2 kills off Fitch. Now, when we started this game, I think it was something along the lines of Fitch had 15, he had about 6. He's now right up there with him, the exact thing they needed to bring this game back. And, well, even Mertz couldn't do anything versus that beast.
Now, Pachanga and Fitz both just turning on up in this engagement. The issue is, you look at the scoreboard for the Danes, and really it's just Mertz. Sandon's having a fairly strong performance as well, but everyone's kind of fallen off on this T side. Cyclone, he's going to go aggressive. Tom's going to have a bit of a...
Why would you peek that same spot every round?
Now it's going to be the 3-on-4. Ramsey, the only player over towards A with the AWP, trying to lock things down. Does find the first. Sandon's able to get the return, though. Bomb's been dropped very, very passively. They get control of the A site, but they're not going to be able to get that bomb down. Sandon with the AWP, he's got to go huge to try and hold on to this A site. A court could be watching for the rotate. And SNK not going to see this coming. He falls prey to a very, very odd position. Now Sandon with this AWP. You can see that Pachanga is thinking about going for the peak, does go for it, and Sonic gets him on the rotate back, leaving this all on Acorn. 1v2. I mean, I always want to call him Acorn. Let's see if he can sprout into something truly beautiful here as he makes his way in towards the B site. Finds himself 1v2. Sonic's here to hold the cross. Acorn able to make it across under the site, undetected just yet. Flash goes out, that's going to give away his position. Should be able to get the bomb down here at least. Sonic doesn't go aggressive, instead waits for the rotate in from Pachanga, but he's going to be holding the close angle, and Acorn's not ready for this. And oh, Sonic with a nice one-tap. There we go. Tengri going to be arriving at match point 15-14. What was looking like it was going to get away a Team123 very decisively now. Tengri looking to pick this up. They get the bomb plant. That's going to be plenty of money in the bank account to Team123, but is it enough, Tom?
Well, if they keep peeking that same AWP on B, then no. I can't believe that they're not using any utility to counter that at this stage. That is a ridiculous amount of rounds that they've just lost someone for nothing based on that AWP of Pachanga. He's hitting his shots, which is wonderful, but then that's what you do. You react. You change something. You smoke him off. You do something that means he can't just keep having free roam. Either way, this is the first... Well, I just want to say full by AWP, everything that they need over on that T-side that we've seen in a little while. But... they lose this round, they have thrown away a hefty lead.
Hefty indeed, like the weight on Mertz's shoulders right now as he's trying to carry his team desperately across the finish line. I mean, I'd say he's trying to carry them, but in all honesty, as we look into these later rounds, it's fallen a lot more onto the rest of the team to kind of pick up the slack. And I mean, that's not me throwing any shade towards 300 Hertz Mertz. He's been performing out of his mind, and you can't say he's not carrying hard enough. He's already kind of done his work. Now it's on everyone else combined with him to have to play things out as a team. And when you look at it, it does just feel like Tengri have, and this is a weird thing to say, I never thought this would be the case, because in my opinion, they're a team that's all about having these kind of standout performances. But right now, they're looking to be the more teamly team, if that makes sense. The one that is orientated a lot more around all 5 players, whereas when you look at Team123, it's kind of like Mertz isn't performing, well, that's it, then they're screwed. So, right now, they happen to grab this early advantage. They lose Pachanga, and he's been pulling some serious weight in the last stage. This Ramzik falls as well. The A site is going to be crumbling around them. SNK and Sonic, though, a very fast and quick rotates come on in. Fitch finds another one to Rezex. It's a 3-on-3. Suddenly the advantage is going to get thrown away, but Cyclone says no. Deals with Sonic up towards Optimus. SNK's been tagged down extremely low, and he falls prey to A-Core. And now it's a 1 Fitch. 1v3. If anyone can do it, you hope it's going to be this man here for Tengri. Desperately trying to claw them across the finish line. They've come so far. And only to see it go to overtime would be devastating. He might just try going for the ninja defuse here. He's going to be in the smoke, but the smoke starts to fade. The timing could be worse. Cyclone goes for the peak. He finds that first, but now Mertz and Acorn, they've just got to sit pretty over towards toilets. Flash goes out as well. It does hit its mark, and this is going to be going to overtime. Fitch finds himself locked in this eternal battle, and there we go. Acorn in with the peak. 15-15, and we're going to be heading into overtime, Thomas.
Yeah, no, I'm very, very surprised, in fact. After the string of rounds we've just seen, it's literally only been, I think, the one in the middle of something like 10. And then, well, they get the very last round to take them to OT. This is a completely different ball game now. Obviously, Mertz, you can't expect him to do this all the way through the game. He's still 34-23. We've seen the step up of the majority of the Tengri players over on the CT side. but this is a completely different ball game. CT side, they still have to worry a little bit about their economy. Obviously, if you lose 2 rounds in a row over on that CT side, you can get into huge economic trouble. But either way, we've seen both teams now pick up a decent CT half. Something that it can become a little bit more, well, less likely, I suppose, when you have not tier 1 Counter-Strike, I suppose, is the way I want to look at it. But both teams matching each other at the moment, and 15-15 we're going to go into this one. I'm interested to see what gets bought, because one thing I want to point out, that they haven't done it, but Tengri were very, very good with their double op setup, and they're not going to opt for it. Pachanga's going to be on the rifle.
At the same time, though, it's 10k MR3 overtime. Going for that double up setup is so risky.
Yeah,
if they lose that first round, then, you know, that's basically it. I imagine what we'll see is if they win this first one on the CT side, then they'll employ the double AWP in the knowledge their economy will be sound enough to buy in that third round regardless. But yeah, for the time being, Team123 making their way slowly but surely over towards this B site. All 5 players here as they load all their eggs into one basket. Rezek's going to get tagged from Fitch, who's employing a very, very nice wall bang there. SNK getting tagged through the wall as well, but there's still 3 players down towards B, and this setup's been working out for them time and time again. This time Sonic falls prey to it early on. Cyclone is going to be going huge on the entries. He finds 2 quick frags. All right, so all on SNK to hold this site on his own. Saturn through the smoke does spot him out, and this is why the double up setup would have completely screwed Tengri, and it's probably a good thing they didn't go for it, as now they can still get the AWP into the next round. Fitch able to find 1. On the retake, still a 2-on-4. It's still within the realms of possibility right now, but then they lose Fitch. Ramzik somehow got himself out from having a little bit, gain a tiny piece of ground, but now to try and fall on back, and there's Mertz to finish him. They don't even save the AWP. 16 to 15. Seeing as we did.
No, I think this is the first round where they've thrown a smoke over towards that B tunnels or the monster position and not expected anyone to go through it. That I think we saw previously where I'm pretty sure it was Sonic was up close, sprays down 3, it should have been 4, but actually his teammate headshotted him. We had the AWP watching that position many times, catching people out. The first time they don't watch it, and Team123 completely capitalize on it. 2 lovely entry kills come in from Cyclone, and that is that round done and dusted. Now, they will have another buy. Utility already started to skimp a little bit, and if they lose this one, they're only going to have pistols going into the next.
Yeah, I mean, if Team123 can pick this up, it's going to be phenomenal for them. They should be able to go 3-0 in the overtime, and already Pachanga's going to fall. This is a very, very bad start to this round. Flash comes in, but it's not the best flash I've ever seen from SNK. Still able to find 2 frags to equalize things out. He's still alive and on the site. Just him being there alone, but so much more pressure on Team123 having that presence, but he peeks on out. Doesn't account for Rezek's playing up close and personal. That's going to be put back into a 2-on-3 now. Fitch going for a long rotate in through Monster, and they're not ready for this just yet. Cyclone going to be poised to fall, as is Mertz. Mertz goes down, and oh, there's Fitch on the flank. It's going to pay off huge as he gets both frags. Ramzik going to deal with Cyclone, and that's Tengri fighting back, 16 to 16. Their economy still not going to be looking too great. 2 players relegated down to Famises, which is a bit weird because Ramzik had enough to drop, but instead he's going to go for the nades, leaving SNK and Sonic just relegated down to the baby brother of the M4.
Yeah, not a bad round in the end. The retake was very, very good. The flank was excellent, but it was more the hold again. They lose 2 players very, very quickly. Now, Fitch is going to go hugely aggressive, finds 1, but he's traded. And that means that the value of that kill has just been completely diminished to 4v4, especially on a map like Overpass where there's very quick rotations. Benefits the T's quite heavily. They already have the utility advantage and weaponry in some cases, but we will see the peek out from Ramzik. It gives that man advantage over to Tengri. Now he could just sort of be this pillar over on the A site. But they will actually rotate a player over. SNK, not any other knowledge other than that 1 kill that there's anybody over towards A. But they're still going to just go into a 2-2 split. The likelihood is there's normally 2 players pushing and then a lurker. Maybe it'll be 3 worst case scenarios. So likelihood is they should come out in a beneficial position unless mistakes are made in their crossfires.
The push is going to be coming in, albeit very slowly from Team123. They're looking to try and take B. Now, they haven't used any utility just yet. They are going to be lining it up, and the second this goes in, with only 35 seconds left, we're probably going to see an instant rotate from at least one of these players. Most likely Ramzik on that fast rotate down through heaven with the AWP. Going to leave SNK on his own up towards that A site. And Instead, they don't elect to throw any utility in just yet, and that's probably the right choice to make. Pechanga does find one on Emerts, but now the push comes in. They should better get this trade, but he actually survives and falls on back. And this is very bad. They don't have any time to play around with, and there we go. Sonic able to mop that up. That's going to be Tengri picking up 2 rounds in overtime, despite a very shaky start. Team123 only able to get 1, meaning they have to at least find 2 rounds on their CT side to take this through to a second overtime, or 3 if they want to win it out. Which is no easy task, is it, Tom?
No, I want to point out that the play there from Pechanga was actually very, very smart. The second he spots Verts, he knows there's players pushing behind him. There's no way anybody's coming down connector if they're going towards A. So the second he gets that kill, he's already turning around ready with a flashbang to throw it down into Monster. And although the flash did very, very little, it was more just the point that enabled him to push back and play with his teammates. So really nice stuff from him. Means that there's no chance for an isolated duel with Sonic or that he could go down. So great play. They're going to get themselves a second. Now they need 2 to win. But we've already seen the CT side for both these teams has been much better. Although you always have to take into account with overtime, it's not like a string of rounds. Tengri just went straight into their CT side. The CTs haven't had any practices. They've had a little bit of a hiatus. And now, well, already their B-side hold looking a little bit lackluster. Luckily for them, Fitch is completely blind in the corner. Sanden very low will get traded out as well. The flank is already coming in from Mertz. And he'll be able to even up this position, and that is not a peak that Sonic needed to take.
Now that peak could have very much just thrown things away. They're going to continue this aggression and try and deal with Mertz, and he's not someone I'd want to be peeking. And SNK does get that 1 frag, but still now he's going to find himself 1v2. Bomb's planted for sure. He doesn't have a Molotov or anything to keep them off the bomb, and while the Molotov on A-core is going to be employed, there we go now. SNK goes up for the peak, and he's going to fall at the hands of Cyclone. Defuse comes on in, and that's going to be Team123. They just managed to secure that first round. It was looking a little bit tight, though.
I understand why they did it. It's the main reason they wanted to retake short control is because in after-plant positions it's very, very valuable. And they didn't want to have multiple prong defense pushing in other directions. But if you know there's an AWPer there, Mertz isn't going to go aggressive at that point in the round. There's loads of time.
The other thing is, you had Sonic going on that flank. They should have waited, right, for him to have been in a position at least to more securely trade that out. Or even just gone for the bait and switch. Had not Sonic, sorry, it was SNK on the flank. Have Sonic go for the shoulder peek, go for the bait and switch, but still, it didn't work out for them. And dwelling on that isn't anything that you can really do for too long. Tengri just looking to try and find themselves 1 more round at least to lock in that second overtime. They only need to win out the next 2 if they want to take this. Unfortunately enough for them, Team123 have had a very, very strong CT side half in the first half of this game. Like you say, that they haven't been practiced. Things were looking a little bit more flimsy there in that hold. Let's see if over towards A, it's a different story. Mertz already pushed up aggressively towards Toilet's going to be watching the cross. He elects to fall on back, and that's because of them not having control of connector, not having the information. And he doesn't want to risk getting caught off guard, especially considering A-Core's already been tagged down to 35 HP. Tengri are going to get mid for free. As a result, Sonic now pushing up from connector. There's the 2-pronged attack that we would have seen employed on Mertz. Not going to find anything just yet, as they are holding this extremely passively across both sides.
What this does mean is that map control can be taken from the T side, but information-wise, they are at, well, none. They don't really have anything to go on, and they've got 35 seconds to make their choice. It's looking like they're going to head on over to that A site. A little bit of noise being made by Sonic, but they know that he's not pushing in this direction, or at least they should. And they're going to go falling back to the site. Mertz is going to be set up with that AWP. I love it over towards this truck position. And he's actually going to throw down a Molotov to slow them down even more. They've only got 20 seconds to play with
here. Not
here.
even that, 15.
They're going to have Ramzik pushing in through the smoke. Mertz will pick up the first. The crossfire working out wonderfully. Only 10 seconds to play with. The bomb is not going down. And SNK is just going to try and fight this one back. But there is no hope for him. Sonic already just completely out of the action, trying to sell that fake. And I don't really know why he's pushing in here. At least dropping one. But with both rounds won, there's going to be no money lost on the other side of things.
That's something I was kind of speaking about in the first half of this game, right? Tengri, a team that likes to take things very slowly, almost too slowly. in their T-side executions. And in the first half, we saw Team123 being the team to go aggressive, and that's when Tengri are at their strongest. They do actively wait for the CT side team to go aggressive, and Team123 were giving them a lot of that aggression. So that's why we saw them pick up those 5 rounds. Just then, it was classic Tengri, and it's almost like the best way to play it is to take things slowly because they don't have very good time management, and that's exactly what we just saw. When the take came underway, they had 15 seconds left to get onto the site and get that bomb down. They had no information. They didn't have a pick. And it was very easy for Team123. This time, Mertz tries the aggression. He falls early on towards Connector, and now the take's going to be coming in over here towards the A site. A lot of pressure on these guys to try and hold it down. A lot more time left as well because they were able to get that early advantage. They're going to be trying to go a lot more aggressive, and they're all pushing in towards the site. All 4 players here. They do manage to deal with Psycho and flush him out at least. Standing able to get 1. And let's not forget, there's a lot on this round right now. If Team123 take it, they do win the overtime 19-17. If Tengri secure it, it will be another overtime on the cards. And then he drops that bomb. There's still a minute left. Plenty of time for them to play around with 2-on-2 scenario. Bomb's still down out in the open. He's going to fall on back. Doesn't elect to watch it. Tengri, they've got to clear a lot of angles, and they don't know where he is. They do retrieve the bomb, but he's already pushing in from long. Rams, it goes to the peak, and he's going to fall as well. Now it's a 1-on-2. It's all on SNK, and he goes out wide. He's going to fall, and that's Team123. They secure it 19-17, and that's going to be Team123 securing map number 1, Overpass, Tengri's map pick.
Yeah, they couldn't have left it much closer, though, let's be honest. It goes to overtime after they had a very good first half. Not quite going to be the way that they probably expected to win it out, but they do bring it back to OT, and I think Tengri are going to be absolutely kicking themselves. They make a wonderful comeback from a very, very, very far down in the end, and because you have to remember, what was it, 10-5, and they lost the pistols. So it's 13-5 all the way back to them being in the 15-14 position. So, going to be a hard loss. I think that's much harder than if they just got absolutely destroyed, because they could write that one off. Instead, they now have to go into the second map, the map pick of Team123, and that is going to be the wonderful Cobblestone.
Yeah, as we head into this is going to be Team123's map pick. We'll be back after a very, very quick break. But before we go, a shout out to some of the first names I see in chat. So we've got Selene1, Ogre Magai, Sirius67. I love the name Sirius, by the way. Apple Edges. We've also got Tom, by the way, Tom and Harry best casters, Tom and Harry worst casters, and Tom Bad K was another name that I saw floating around. Bot McCallick. Dizik 69, scroll 20 centimeters. Who else we got? Yeah, Tom and Harry best casters said shout out to me, please. There you go, buddy. Thank you for the love and support. I'm reciprocating that with all my might. Emil 857F says Bliet. Bumpser _ Yoshi Checksum says budget Anders. Not really sure if that's entirely true. I'm no metas. And X Chester, Witwit, XL Euro, and a bunch of other people who are now spamming some stuff. Toby 05081001 or something like that. Very, very quick break because I ruined that. Let's go to a break, Tom.